back to my channel. Thank you so much for watching. This video is going to be a very special video to me. This video is going to be about the night that I met the singer Prince. Prince went to heaven 4 years ago today. He was a musical genius. He was a beautiful soul. He radiated such a beautiful light, and the world definitely misses him, and there will never be any other singer to ever be Prince. So that's it. There'll never be another Prince. So when I was 16, I remember hearing this music, and it was coming from the living room. And I remember going down the stairs and seeing my mom, and she was just sitting there kind of staring at the TV. And I went in there and I sat down and I saw this man dancing all around, and I just thought, wow, like Prince was way beyond his time. He was just so groundbreaking, and just watching him dance and sing, I was just so enthralled, and just I couldn't even believe it. And I looked at my mom and I said, "Mom, I know him." And she said, "Of course, Debbie, he's Prince." And I looked at her and I said, "No, I know him." That statement sounds very bold, but this is gonna sound a little weird, but I always felt like I had a very deep soul tie to Prince. I always felt, even at that age, that I knew him. I kind of feel like I had like some kind of past life where I actually knew him, and this stayed with me for years. I kind of felt as though he was someone that was very important to me. I felt like he could have been maybe someone that taught me something back in a past life. I don't know. I wish I knew. But in 2001, I was diagnosed with cancer, and it was one of the hardest things that I ever went through. And I can honestly say that I give thanks to God and thanks to Prince for helping me get through that hard time. When you're going through something like cancer, it's very depressing and very sad, and you don't know if you're going to live or die. And so I was very depressed, and I would pray a lot. You know, I was turning towards God. Sometimes, I'm going to be honest, that just didn't work for me. I started listening to Prince's music, his more spiritual music, and I just felt as though it kind of lifted me out of my depression and my sadness. And I honestly feel like music is medicine, and I felt like it kind of helped me. So when I was getting wheeled to surgery, I said to the doctor, I said, "Doctor, if I make it, I'm gonna meet the singer Prince." And he said, "You're gonna meet the singer Prince?" And I said, "Yes." And he went, "Okay, Debbie," and he wheeled me in. When I was coming out of surgery, the doctor whispered in my ear, he said, "Debbie, guess what?" And I was all like loopy from, drugs. And I said, "What?" And he goes, "You're gonna meet Prince." And I did meet Prince. I met Prince in 2007. So in 2007, Prince opened up a residency at the Rio. The Rio Hotel. Now, I don't know, months are kind of a little bit weird because I can't remember, because it's now 2020 and that happened in 2007. So it's kind of hard for me to recall. but I think the residency was started in November, and it ended in I think it ended in March. I'm not quite sure, March or April. I think he got it made longer, so I think he was only supposed to be there for 2 months, but it wound up being 3 months or 4 months. I don't know. I don't know. That might be true. I'm not sure on that. But when I found out that Prince was going to be living here in Vegas, I was so excited. I just told everyone that I was going to meet Prince. I said, I know it. I'm going to meet him. I could feel it. I literally felt it. I literally felt it. I knew it. I had this feeling in my bones that I was going to meet him. I just had this feeling, and it was a nonstop nagging feeling. Like, I could visually see it. And one night, I went to the Rio, and I was there, and I was standing there, and I turn around, and right behind me was Prince, and he was very, very close to me, very close. I would say a few inches away from me. I looked at him, and I smiled at him, and I put my head down because I was like, oh my God, I can't believe it's Prince. He was so adorable. He was just very, very tiny, and just like I didn't think that he was that tiny. He was tiny, and just, he was, I don't know, something out of like, I just can't, I don't know. He was just, he was so amazing to me. I just looked at him, and I was like, oh my God, it's Prince. And I said, Debbie, whatever you do, do not like freak out, because I thought I'd freak out, but I didn't freak out, and that was really weird. So I go back the next week, and he's on stage singing, and he looks directly at me, and he smiles at me. Eye contact, full eye contact, and I looked at him, and I smiled back, and then the whole time on stage, he was just looking at me and smiling, looking at me and smiling. And I was just like, oh my God, this is so weird. But the way he was looking at me, it was almost like he was trying to figure out where he knew me from. No joke. It was so bizarre. So I went back the following week, and I was like, please make Prince be here. And I was looking all around, I really wanted just to like look at him again, and he wasn't there. I was like, oh no, And so I went again, and he wasn't there again. I was like, oh no, I'm never gonna see this person again. So I told my friend, and I'm like, I went there and I didn't see him. And she's like, Debbie, you're not going to meet Prince. Prince does not talk to anyone. You're not going to meet him. I said, no, I know I'm going to. I could feel it. It's going to happen. So one night I went there, and all of a sudden I had this really weird feeling that Prince was there. A really weird feeling, but I would look around and I didn't see him. Not realizing that Prince was sitting in the audience. He was sitting there, and when I turned around and looked at him, we made eye contact. And it was funny because he had a guest, and I think the guest that night was Maceo Parker, and he was up there singing. So Prince was watching Maceo. So I looked at Prince, and he looked at me, and then I turned away. And all of a sudden, about 5 minutes later, this bodyguard walked over to me, and he tapped me on the shoulder, and I looked up at him, and he said, Prince, I would like to speak to you now. And I just looked at him, and I was like, I didn't know what to say. Like, I seriously thought I was dreaming. I thought maybe I wasn't there. Maybe I was dreaming. This can't be true. So I didn't even answer the bodyguard. I was just like, I just like shook my head at him. So he walked me out through the crowd, and there was like this velvet rope, and he lifted it up and walked me over towards Prince. And Prince is sitting down. He was sitting down on this couch, like a couch, and I can't remember if it was a red couch or a purple couch. I think that it was like a red color, but I'm not sure. But he was sitting down on it, and he in person is very, very handsome. He doesn't look like, he didn't have on all that makeup, and he had his hair cut really short, and he had on these black pants and like dress pants and a black jacket. He had on this beautiful watch and this really, really pretty ring, and he had his nails done kind of like with like clear polish. He was just so flawless, and I remember just looking at him and being like, oh my God, I can't believe like how flawless he is. Like, he was a very, very good looking man. And he had these Coke bottle colored brown eyes. Like, his eyes were like the color of like Coke. Kind of like these light brown eyes. I don't know if they were hazel or brown, but they were beautiful. And I was just looking at him. And then I said, hi. I said, my name's Deborah. And he took on my hand, and he goes, hi, Deborah, I'm Prince. And I said, it's really nice to meet you. And he goes, you could have a seat. So I thought he told me not to sit, because it was really loud in there. So I didn't know if he told me to sit down or stand. I couldn't hear him. So he said, have a seat. And I heard him, and I sat down, and he actually grabbed my hand, and he was like holding it. And he said, I see you here. And now I'm trying to I'll recall. He said, I've seen you here often. And I was like so shocked that he like noticed me like that, And I said to him, I didn't say anything actually. So he goes, where do you work? And I said, Mirage. And he goes, what do you do? And I said, hostess. And he goes to me, for how long? And I told him. And then he said to me, you're very pretty. And I just looked at him, and that to me was like very, like, that to me was very special, because people that know me, like the real me, don't, I don't feel like that way. I'm very like self-conscious about, how I look. So I'm not like that type of person that feels like that. And for him to say it, it was very, just very, it meant like the world to me. So he said that. And then we were talking, and I don't remember exactly what we were saying, but I was there for quite a while, actually. He had a very good sense of humor, because somebody walked by, and it was a guy and a girl, and the girl had on a lavender dress, and the guy had on a purple shirt. And I said, oh look, they match. And he went, that's not purple, that's lavender. And I just looked at him, and I started to laugh, because to me it was funny how he just kind of like said that, And then he said to me, so you work at the Mirage? And I said, yes. And he goes, well, Deborah, what happens if I wanted to work at the Mirage? And I'm just sitting there and I'm looking at him. And I said, but you already, I didn't know what to say. This is going to sound so corny. I said, but you already have a job. And then I looked at him and I go, you could be my boss. And then he just looked at me and he did that smirk. Like that smile, like that smirk that he gives. So I was sitting there, you know, talking to him, and all of a sudden he said, thank you. And I said, nice to meet you. And as I was walking away, I turned around and he was still staring at me with this look on his face. Like it was just so weird. Every time I went to the club, after that, he would like look at me like and smile at me, wave at me. It was just so weird. It was so weird. I just like, even thinking about it now, I just can't believe that I got to meet him, and like that kind of changed me a lot. Like meeting this person, I don't know, it really did. Like I just know that like sometimes when you feel like something is gonna happen and it's like nagging at you, that it actually can happen, you know. And I just want to say that that I miss him. Like I miss Prince. I just feel like he was such a big part of my life for years and years. And when he passed away, I just felt like a big chunk of my life just got, you know, torn out. So I just wanted to tell this story, and I just want to, you know, tell you guys, you know, the ones that love Prince, that, you know, I'm thinking of you all today, and I love you guys, and I love Prince, and that will never change. He's a very, very special person to me, and I know when I go up to heaven, I know that I will meet him again. It's gonna happen. I feel that. And that's it. Thank you for watching, and I hope you like this video. Bye. I know